and welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley. For the next hour, we are going to be learning English vocabulary to describe people's personality. You can learn how to gossip about other people. Shh. Okay. Students will take turns doing some different exercises, mix and match, and fill in the blank. And as we proceed through the class, we'll also have some conversation, discussion about different types of people, different personalities, character traits, and like that. Okay, we'll see if you know any people as are being described in the lesson. I'm sure you do. Okay, so once I get some folks to join me here, we'll get cracking. We'll get started. Come on in. Plenty of room in the class. And we'll start talking about personality traits. Lots of adjectives today, of course. We'll also be looking at some phrasing, how we talk about other people's personality, what sentence structures we use. Okay, JR.
Hello.
Hi. How have you been?
I have been great. Thank you for asking.
Great.
What about you?
I've been hanging in there. I've been okay. Haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you again.
Okay.
All right. I see you've got a new avatar, a new icon for Google. Very groovy. What is that? The International Space Station?
Yes, it is in international space. I like the pictures, so I decided to change my avatar.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it too.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we have been joined by Jesus. Hello, Jesus. How are you?
Hello, teacher. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. Just starting my day, so I don't know. Ask me again in a few hours. I'm okay. Carolina has joined us as well. Good morning, or good evening, sorry. Carolina.
Yes, good evening, teacher.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, let's get started. I'm going to do a screen share of some material, and we'll start learning some vocabulary to describe people and their personality. First of all, in this first exercise, we've got some short sentences to talk about other people. Let's gossip a little. Okay. Some are positive or some are negative. And we'll talk about them a little bit as we go along. So please read the sentence and tell me if you think it's negative or positive, and then maybe we'll talk about it just a bit. JR, starting with number one.
Okay. She's got so much personality. I think it is positive.
It is, but it's kind of a weird statement because personality involves all kinds of things. You're right, it is positive. What does that mean? She's got so much personality.
I think she could be very confident. She is very educated, has a personal style, maybe unique, something special that can show confidence.
Okay, that's pretty good. Good explanation. Excellent, in fact. Somebody has a lot of personality. Is probably outgoing and confident, as you said. Probably quite social. Maybe the closest synonym I could think of, perhaps, is charismatic. Right? Maybe the person has some kind of charisma. They are charismatic. They seem to attract people. People like them for whatever reason and follow them, perhaps. Okay, a couple others have joined us, so let me quickly welcome Victor. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Oakley. How is everything going?
Well, it's going. It's going. Okay. Welcome to the class. And also, hello, Francisco.
Hi, teacher. Here again.
Here you are again. Great. It's good to have you here. Okay, talk to you in a bit. All right, let's continue. Jesus, positive or negative? Number 2.
She's a bit difficult at times. I think it's negative.
Yeah, definitely. What does that probably mean if she's a bit difficult?
Well, maybe it's difficult to reason with her sometimes.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. She's difficult to reason with. That's a very good expression as well. Yes, perhaps she's a little stubborn. Maybe a little closed-minded. Maybe a little immature. So difficult to reason with is a very good explanation. Excellent. Good job. Carolina, number 3.
She isn't easy to get on with.
Yep. Positive or negative?
Is it negative?
Definitely. Okay. What's the idea here?
Maybe she's shy and a little bit. How can I say that? I'm going now. Maybe she doesn't like to talk with other people.
Okay. Maybe she doesn't like to talk with other people. Maybe she's a little cold. Okay. People that seem unemotional and don't talk much, we say they're kind of cold. Yeah. Okay. Did you say that she's maybe she's a child? Carolina?
Sorry?
I missed the first thing you said. I didn't understand. I heard maybe she's a child. Is that what you said?
No, chai. I say chai. No, chai.
Chai. What's chai? It's kind of tea. Oh, watch your sh pronunciation.
Okay.
I thought you were saying chai, like the tea. What?
No.
Shy. Oh, okay. Maybe. Maybe she's shy. She's just shy and introverted. Maybe she's just cold and unemotional, unapproachable. Yeah. Okay. All right. Another quick note here is get on. You get on with somebody you're friendly with. I get on with Paul very well. I'm friendly with him. Americans say, instead of get on, we say get along with. But it's the same idea, but slightly different particle instead of on, along. Okay, quick shout out to Diana. Hi, Diana. Welcome to the class. Hello.
Hi. Thank you.
Hi. All right. We'll come around back to you in just a little bit. A lot of material, so I'm going to try to keep it moving here. Victor, number 4.
Okay. She's got a great sense of humor. I think she's an intelligent person, and she made some funny comments. Also, she can make some jokes. And
Okay.
also is a person who you can talk with she a lot of time.
Okay.
And you enjoy the conversation with this person.
Okay. So positive, in other words. Great sense of humor. Watch the pronunciation. Humor.
Humor. Thank you.
That's better. Yeah. Okay, but I would disagree slightly. Everybody thinks this. Even native speakers make this kind of, it's a little bit of a mistake, but not a little bit of a mistake. A great sense of humor means you can appreciate humor. Somebody says something funny, you laugh. You understand irony. You understand you know, you understand situations that are humorous. So you understand when things are funny. Somebody has no sense of humor. You tell them a joke and they just look at you with a flat face, with a poker face, and they don't understand why it's funny. They don't get it. That person has no sense of humor. So having a sense of humor is more about understanding what's funny than actually telling jokes. Of course, the telling jokes and being funny part follows. It naturally follows. If you understand humor, then it's easy for you to express humor. So they go hand in hand, but it is possible to have a great sense of humor and not tell a lot of jokes. You can be shy and have a great sense of humor. Okay? So just
Okay, I got it.
to clarify a little bit. Okay, moving on. Francisco, number 5.
Okay, number 5. She's a bit of a pain sometimes. Well, maybe.
Is it positive or negative, first of all?
Well, it's a negative comment.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead. Maybe she's what? You can give examples if you need to.
Yeah, it means sense of humor.
What's that? She has no sense of humor.
Well, it could be.
Could be, yeah, that could be part of it. Yeah, sure.
Maybe she gets angry very easy, very well.
Yeah, okay. Maybe she's demanding. Maybe she's too oversensitive. She gets angry too easy. Could be a number of things. Maybe she's very stubborn and has to have her way. All right. She has to have her way. It's got to be her way, or she will just disagree all the time. Or maybe she's one of those people that just has to be negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Francisco's?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They go out to dinner and they have a nice dinner and they've got to say something bad about it.
Yes.
Even if it's a lovely dinner. Yeah. Yeah. Those people are definitely a pain. All right, continuing. Diana, number 6.
Number 6. She's great fun.
Okay, what's the idea?
She's. I think that is positive. This is a woman that make smell other people.
Makes other people smile. Smile. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Yes. That's true. Maybe she has a great sense of humor. She's just entertaining. Probably extroverted and very social, most likely. The kind of person who kind of takes over a party. Do you know that expression, Diana? The person that takes over a party. Do you know what they're called?
I don't. Maybe talkative or something that.
Oh no, we have an expression. The life of the party. So.
Okay. Yes, the life of the party. Yes, I know.
The life of the party. Okay. Yeah, that would probably fit right in with she's great fun. Okay. Thank you. JR, how about number 7?
Okay, she can be a pain in the neck. Okay. It is negative because if someone is a pain in the neck, maybe nobody likes to stay close or talk or to interact because they don't like this kind of people or person.
Yeah, perhaps they're very demanding and stubborn. Okay, JR, have you ever heard the expression high maintenance person or low maintenance person?
No, I have never heard this expression.
Okay, it's often used to talk about your romantic interests. If you have a high maintenance girlfriend, she needs your emotional support all the time. You have to tell her you love her every 10 minutes. She follows you around. She's very demanding on your time and your energy. As opposed to a low maintenance, for example, just as an example, a low maintenance girlfriend, she can take care of herself. She's very independent. She doesn't need an emotional crutch. Okay? Somebody's a pain in the neck, it can mean different things. It can mean that they're just really emotionally demanding. Or it can mean that they're just very stubborn, obstinate, and demanding. It can mean a couple different things.
Mm-hmm.
There's an interesting word as well. Obstinate is an extreme word for very stubborn. They just will not change their mind. So it can mean a couple things, really.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay. Carolina, I'm not sure. You're asking about the word insupportable. What is that? I just saw that. Sorry. What is that in reference to?
With the last point, with 7, maybe the person is, I can say that. Can I say that she is very insupportable?
I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Are you trying to say that you can't support her, or she doesn't support other people?
No, I can stand with her because she has a very bad behavior. And
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. You can't support her. Okay. I think it would be first of all, instead of in.
Okay.
I think because people rarely use this word. Unbearable. Yeah, Francisco, that's a lot better. That's a lot more to the point. Insupportable, not really. You wouldn't use that in this situation, but unbearable, I like that a lot. That makes perfect sense. Yes, pain in the neck, unbearable, those are very synonymous there. All right. Okay, moving on to number 8. Let me quickly welcome Mustafa, first of all. Hi, Mustafa. Welcome.
Hi, teacher. Hi, teacher. Sorry for being late.
It's okay. Hang in there. We'll come around to you in a bit. Jesus, number 8.
Okay. She's my kind of person. I think it's positive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the person who likes you and you can agree with.
Yes, in general terms, this particular phrasing is often used in reference to some very specific thing. Oh, Judy went skydiving all weekend. She's so adventurous. She's so bold and adventurous. She's my kind of person. So we often use this phrase in reference to some specific behavior or even action, actually. Oh, she stood up in the meeting and told the boss that the boss's idea was totally stupid. She's my kind of person. I really admire her. I would like to be like her, or I feel that we are alike in personality, or I wish my personality was like her. And usually we use this phrase in reference to something specific. Okay. But in general, yeah, you got the idea. I'm sure we can all think of people who fit these descriptions. Okay. He's always doing that. Okay, actually, before we even do the exercise, a quick note about this phrasing. He's always talking. He's always taking breaks at work. Okay, this particular construction with the present continuous, or sometimes you can also the past continuous if you're talking about obviously someone in the past, with always, or possibly constantly, is usually used to show negative qualities about people, something that annoys you. You're talking about a quality of somebody that you don't like, or an action that they do repeatedly that annoys you. It can be used to talk about good things, but most of the time it's used to talk about negative things. You know, it could be used about good things, like at a funeral. She was always giving money to the poor. Okay, well, obviously that's positive, and talking about a positive action. Okay, it's a very common construction in English that's often used to talk about personality or actions related to personality. Okay, this next exercise is actually a little mix and match. We're going to mix and match. I'll scroll down here. Let's see. Okay. See if you can pick the matching sentence that explains a little bit about the first one. All right, so Carolina, your turn. Number 1.
Tony isn't very sensitive.
Okay, which would best fit?
He's always saying the wrong thing. He's forget. He's insensitive. Maybe see? He's always worrying about what people think of him.
You got a negative here.
Yeah.
He isn't very sensitive.
Okay.
He
always saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. He's always saying the wrong thing. Yeah, exactly. He says things without thinking about how other people are affected. So, a bit of a sociopath. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the idea. Well, sensitive. Okay. Sensitive is a weird word. I need to kind of explain, because, all right, it can be very. It's a strange adjective because it can be used in a positive way or a negative way. You always hear about women. If you ever picked up like Cosmopolitan or 17 or one of those women's magazines, they're always talking about how they want a sensitive man. They want a man who can go shopping with them and hold their bags and talk about their feelings. Okay, so for, you know, sometimes women talk about they want a sensitive man. All right, as in it's a very positive quality. But we can also use sensitive to talk about, oh man, he's so sensitive. He gets his feelings hurt by the slightest thing. I told him, oh, your hair's messy. You might want to comb your hair. And he started to cry. Okay, that's oversensitive. Okay, that's being too sensitive. Why is he so sensitive? So sensitive is a weird word because it, depending on context, it can be used very positively or very negatively. You know, often negatively we say oversensitive or too sensitive. So you got to be a little bit careful of that particular adjective. Okay, moving on. Victor.
Mars so aggressive.
Okay.
I think the F.
Yeah.
He keeps getting into fights.
Okay. Victor, if somebody's aggressive, does that mean that they're violent?
Yes, I think so. It's related to violence in this case.
In this case, yes, but not necessarily. So this is an easy mistake to make, is to equivocate aggressive with violent. Yes, sometimes yes. In this particular example, definitely yes. But, you know, think about it in a football match. if someone is a forward, a striker, and they're a very aggressive player, it doesn't mean that they're getting a red card every game because they're punching people. It means that they're an aggressive player. They like to be in the front. They like to, I mean, that's their job. They want to score goals and they want to attack aggressively. If someone's aggressive at work, it means that maybe they want to get promoted and they're always coming up with new ideas and presenting them to the boss. They're the person that always talks in a meeting. Doesn't mean they're punching people at work. Doesn't mean they're attacking people with a knife. It just means that they're very forward and they're not the opposite. Well, what's the opposite, Victor?
The opposite
Of aggressive. Yeah.
No, I don't know the word in English.
It's passive.
Ah, yes, you're right.
Right. So if someone is passive, they just let things happen. The person who sits in a meeting and never says a word, ever. The aggressive employee brings up new ideas, makes suggestions, tries to get things moving. Right. So. Okay, so the aggressive has more to do with that. It can mean violent, but more often than not, it's more about their type of behavior. Mustafa, you wrote that, yes, people drive in an aggressive way, absolutely. But you wrote that passive means people who are sitting on the fence. Not necessarily. That's a different thing. If you're sitting in the fence, that means... usually that's in reference to a specific thing, like, I don't know, politics. I don't know if I should vote Republican or Democrat. I'm still sitting on the fence. I may be an aggressive person. I may be a passive person. It doesn't really relate. It just means you haven't made a decision about something. What? What are you talking about? A twang? Yeah, not sure what you mean. Okay, I'm going to move on. Francisco, number 3.
Okay, number 3. Simon's very thoughtful. He's always buying me little presents.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, okay. Very good. Yeah, thoughtful means not thinking about himself all the time, but thinking about other people. So when you say thoughtful, the idea is that you think about other people's feelings. You're sensitive. It's very close to sensitive, okay? One meaning of sensitive. To think about other people's feelings. All right. Very good. Diana, number 4.
4. He's so absent-minded. Maybe he's always looking in the mirror.
No, that's not it.
He keeps he
Yeah.
keeps forgetting where he's put things.
Yeah, the classic example, the stereotype is the absent-minded professor, okay, or the absent-minded scientist who's got his lab coat and he puts his glasses on the top of his head and he can't find his glasses, like that. That's the classic example. So the stereotype is actually usually somebody who's actually quite smart, but they forget little things. They don't remember where they put their glasses, their car keys, and things like that. Okay. That's
Teacher,
the class. Yes.
Please, can you remind us by the idiom related to sieve? I forgot it. It's also, yeah.
You forgot it? Why?
Yeah.
Because you have
Sorry.
a mind. You have a mind
Yeah.
like a sieve.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
A mind like a sieve is an idiom which expresses the idea that you forget everything. Okay, slightly different than being absent-minded. Forget everything. You forget your wife's birthday. You forget the mathematical formula for for something, you know, as opposed to a professor who's never going to forget everything. He doesn't forget the things that are important to him. Okay. Absent-minded means you forget small things. A mind like a sieve, you forget everything. That's kind of the idea. Alrighty, Mustafa, since you're here, number 5.
Okay, Joe isn't very self-confident. Okay, scroll down. See, he's always worrying about what people think about him.
Yeah, and that's pretty darn good explanation of someone who lacks confidence, who isn't self-confident.
Is there any adjective to describe this? Like, I'm trying to looking for the reverse of self-confident. Like lack of confidence, we can see, we can have, we can say, but I don't think there's a opposite of it, right?
In a way, for example, if you're always worried about what other people think of you, it's not quite the same, but you're self-conscious.
Self-conscious.
You're very,
okay.
But a person can be self-conscious just in one situation, you know, like as an example, you go to a formal party and your most formal clothes are not as formal as everybody else. You go to a party and you're not really dressed the same way everyone else is. You might feel like a fish out of water. There's another idiom. You feel very
uncomfortable.
But that's, we often, self-conscious can be used generally or can be used situationally. We don't really have a direct antonym for self-confident for some reason.
How about self-esteem? Self-esteem is like self-confidence?
Yeah, okay, well, there's another one. All right, somebody has low self-esteem. And this one's, okay, we don't use self-esteem very often positively. We use this in a negative way to show no self-confidence. He has low self-esteem. It's very similar. If you have low self-esteem, then you're almost certainly going to lack confidence because you have no faith in yourself, you have no belief in yourself. So similar. Okay, moving on. Jer, number 6.
Okay. He is so vain. He's always buying me little presents, maybe.
No, that's not it. Definitely not. That would be he's so thoughtful.
Okay, he is always looking in the mirror, maybe.
Yeah, okay, that's it. So, vain. Can you think of any? There's actually quite a few synonyms of vain. Can you think of any, JR?
Vain.
Somebody who's always looking in the mirror, they think they are the most beautiful person they have ever seen.
Something empty, maybe, or something useless.
Well, yeah, okay. Vain, egotistical. Such an egotist. He is egotistical. Either it can be egotistical and vain. It can be about your appearance, but it also can be about your abilities, your skills, your intelligence, whatever, any qualities that you may have. You just think you're the best. Egotistical. Arrogant is usually more a symptom rather than a disease. If someone is egotistical, they are often arrogant. Arrogant has to do with the way you treat other people. You can be egotistical all by yourself in a room, staring at yourself in a mirror. You can't be arrogant with yourself. You're arrogant with other people. You act like you are superior. Okay? Same thing with cocky. He acts superior. He's arrogant. He's cocky. Cocky is a little different. Cocky has more to do with being sarcastic. Maybe a little bit arrogant, but also there's an element of being sarcastic in there with cocky. Narcissistic is another one, which I don't know how to spell. Oh, I did it, I think. Wow, amazing. Self-centered, that's a good one. That's direct. Vain, self-centered, egotistical, narcissistic. Does anybody know who Narcissus was in Greek mythology? Which is where all of this comes from. Okay. Narcissus was a Greek, I think a nymph, maybe a dryad, a naiad, I don't know, one of those kind of nymphs. And he fell in love with himself looking into a pool of water in the forest, so he couldn't even tear himself away from looking at his beautiful reflection. And he turned into a flower, which is now a narcissus. Is that what it's called? There's a kind of flower that has the same name. I don't know if anybody knows it, but anyway, with this kind of flower bends over. It's white and the stem bends, so it looks like it's looking down. So there you go. We have the term narcissism, narcissistic, and also the flower. Yeah, anyway. You're really in love with yourself. Okay. Okay. Here's another mix and match we're going to do here. Match the adjectives in sentences 1 through 5 with their opposites in A through E. So let me see if I can adjust the size of this. Hopefully you guys can see it all right. Okay. There we go. All right, opposites. Match the opposites with the adjective. For example, in the first sentence here, it's generous, with the opposite, tense, shy, miserable, in A through E over here. Okay, Jesus, number 1. First read number 1.
Okay, Tom's really generous. He bought everyone in the pub a drink last night. I think the opposite is. I think the opposite is don't expect Tom to put any money in the collection. He is much too mean.
Yeah. Okay. One thing. He bought everyone a drink in the pub. Pub. That's a pub. Okay. Pronunciation was a little off there. Yes, you're absolutely correct. He's generous. He's not. He spends his money. Generous. You can be generous not only with your money, but generous with your time. Like you donate time to help other people. That's also generous. Donate things, or you whatever, you lend things to people. All right, the opposite. Now, okay, he's much too mean. This is one meaning of mean. Mean can also be a very general term, extremely general term to describe just somebody who's angry all the time is mean, and they treat people badly. They're mean. It's a very, very simple adjective. Children use it. Bobby's mean. He hit me with a book. Okay, it's a very simple adjective. The meaning that we're looking at here, okay, Mustafa, yes, miserly, stingy. I have to say that Brits may use mean as a synonym for stingy or miserly, and as an American, I recognize it, but I've never heard anybody actually say it like this, with this meaning of stingy. Occasionally, once or twice, I've seen it written, but yes, Americans are much. He's a miser. He's stingy. Yeah, I think those are more commonly used, at least by Americans anyway. Oh, good one, Carolina. He's tight. Oh, that's a better one. Much more colloquial, casual. Yeah, he's so tight with his money. Very good. He's really tight. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Glad you brought that up. Okay, Carolina. As a reward, you can do number 2.
Claire's is very hardworking. She never leaves the office until after 6 o'clock. The other one is E. I can't believe it. Emma's husband's so lazy. He just sits and watches TV all evening.
Yeah, certainly. Hardworking and lazy are kind of obvious, direct antonyms. Absolutely the opposite. Yeah. Hardworking, maybe a synonym would be industrious. I don't know. Yeah, well, hardworking does not necessarily, actually it doesn't mean workaholic, Mustafa. They do not mean the same thing. Not necessarily. Actually, English speakers tend to keep these completely separate, because hardworking is an extreme positive and workaholic is definitely a negative. So we definitely kind of separate these ideas. Yes.
Responsible.
What's that?
Responsible.
Responsible. That's part of being hardworking, but only a part. You're responsible. You can be a responsible person and not necessarily be hardworking. You can be an average worker but be very responsible. So they don't they're not synonyms, definitely not. They mean two different things completely. Hardworking is the idea that you just keep working. You just keep going. You just keep going. You just keep going. You probably work a lot of hours. Doesn't necessarily mean you're a workaholic. It may mean you're a workaholic. Okay. But maybe not. And responsible just means that you do what you say you're going to do. I don't know. A person who's completely retired and doesn't work at all anymore can be very responsible. They can keep their promises and do what they say they're going to do. So it doesn't necessarily mean hardworking. We have, for lazy, I can't really think of, I can think of a couple obscure adjectives, but when we talk about somebody as being lazy, we tend to use nouns. He's a bum. He's a slug. He's a total couch potato. Okay. We tend to use nouns to describe a lazy person. Nouns used as a kind of a analogy or idiomatic or whatever. He's a slug. Okay, anyway, moving on. Victor, number 3.
Okay. Tina's very outgoing. She's made friends with everybody else in the class already. I think the opposite is Bruno's so shy. I don't think he's spoken to any of the other students yet.
Yeah. Okay, definitely. These are opposites. Very good. Watch your pronunciation of those SHs. You and Carolina. You guys. Shh. shy. Okay.
Shy.
Thinking
Shy.
you're talking about tea. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Shy. All right. Outgoing. The more formal words that you might often hear are extrovert and introvert. People, English, I guess, sometimes generalize people's overall personality by starting with, and before you get into other more detailed characteristics, you're starting with he's an extrovert, he's an introvert. Extrovert, outgoing, social, yeah, those things. Introverted, shy, introspective, quiet. She's quiet as a mouse. And there's an idiom for timid. Okay, these would be synonyms for shy. Mustafa, easygoing, not exactly the same as outgoing. Easygoing, probably, it's likely that an easygoing person is outgoing, but not necessarily so. Easygoing means that you're patient about, you don't get upset, is basically the idea. All right, people say something, you don't get angry. All right, you're very calm about things. You're probably generous with your time. Somebody says, you're going to have to work Saturday. Okay, no problem. That doesn't mean I'm outgoing and social. That just means that I don't get upset by much. So not exactly the same. And open-minded is completely different. Open-minded, tolerant, those are completely different things that really have nothing to do with extrovert or introvert. Open-minded and tolerant have to do with how much you're willing to listen to other people's ideas, or are you convinced that you know everything already, in which case you're going to be intolerant of different beliefs people have, different ways that people do things that might not be the same as yours. If you're intolerant or you're closed-minded, you don't like the way your cousin does the dishes. Don't do it that way. What are you doing? No, you have to first rinse the dishes, then wash them. You're not doing it right. You're very intolerant. You're closed-minded. If you're open-minded, oh, that's an interesting way of doing the dishes. I never thought about doing that. You at least listen to other ideas and consider them. If you're intolerant or closed-minded, you won't even consider them. That is totally, an outgoing or a shy person can be tolerant or intolerant. One has nothing to do with the other. I have met very outgoing people who are very closed-minded, honestly, and I've met very shy people who are extremely open-minded. So I think that could be, they have nothing to do with each other, so don't confuse those two. Okay. Easygoing. Oh, here we go. Easygoing. Oh, all right. Vic. No. Francisco. Number 4.
Okay, number 4. Brian's a very easygoing sort of guy. Nothing seems to worry him.
Yeah.
I think it's C. Lucy's very, very tense. She's always worried about something or other.
Yeah. I like how you threw in the extra very. Lucy's very, very tense. Okay. You know what? That's perfectly acceptable, and actually a good way to add emphasis. I think you did it by accident, but I liked it. I liked it because it's very natural, native speaker-like, very colloquial. She's very, very tense. And we love to exaggerate personalities, so that would be a good way to do that. When we talk about other people's personalities, he's so easygoing. Okay, notice everybody's really or very, all of these have some kind of adverb. He's extremely outgoing. We love to use adverbs with the adjectives that talk about personality. So sometimes doubling up, very, Very tense. I like that. That's actually good style. Okay. She's tense. All right. She's okay. Francisco, can you think of any others about tense?
Well, I think tense, it could be stress. Maybe she's very stressed, so she's always, she's always worried because she's always thinking in other things.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, you even might tell this person, Lucy, you think too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're overthinking things. When people get very stressed or very tense. Okay, we could say Lucy seems to be stressed or possibly stressed out. Another more idiomatic expression, she's a worrywart. Somebody who worries about everything.
Worrywart? Okay.
Yeah, she's a worrywart. Kind of a, I don't know, I think I'm dating myself there. I think I'm showing my age when I use that. That's a little bit of an older expression. I don't think young people use that anymore, but okay. Yeah, stressed. That's it. Very good. Diana, number 5.
5. Jack's Charles a cheerful little boy. I've never seen him in a bad mood. The opposite it's the last one, and I don't understand why he's so miserable. He never stops complaining.
There you go. Yep, that's it. Okay. Good, cheerful. I don't know, another interesting word. Good-natured. Somebody who's very positive. Okay, positive, good-natured, cheerful. Right. All right. The opposite is someone who's so miserable. They're angry and upset all the time. Bitter. Bitter, that's an interesting one. Diana, do you have any idea what bitter means? It's close to miserable, but it's a little special. He's so bitter. Okay. All right. If somebody's miserable, it can mean two things. It can mean they're very, very sad, but usually his father died and he's miserable. All right. He's extremely depressed. But when we use it more generally, like this, I don't understand why he's so miserable. It means that they're very hard to get along with. They're always angry, always upset, always in a bad mood, complaining all the time, cold to other people. They're just an angry person. A bitter person is somebody who's angry. It's very interesting. You may not even understand or know why the person is bitter. They're angry about something in the past. Their husband left them. They lost their family in the war. They got, the company he works for fired him after 30 years. A bitter person is bitter about something, and they hold that anger inside themselves.
And or maybe it's someone who has a pain. It's miserable.
Could be physical pain.
Okay.
Physical pain, you mean? I'm asking.
No, physical. It's a pain for something. I don't know. Maybe that dies or something like that. It's miserable.
Well, yeah, maybe. Okay. Miserable and bitter are very, very similar, but the slightly different meaning is the person who's bitter, there's something happened to them specifically. Maybe somebody's miserable, the same thing. Maybe. Yeah, they have some kind of pain, emotional pain, possibly physical pain, actually. Sometimes old people get bitter when they start to hurt. Their bodies start to hurt. It just physically hurts, so they become old and bitter. Get off of my lawn, kids! You know, like that. And you might call them miserable as well. Miserable and bitter are very, very similar. A miserable old man. Okay. Got a few more minutes. Here's another kind of sentence structure, which is actually used as opposed to he's always complaining, talking about faults or character faults. This is used, okay. Okay, far too is used to say positive things. Much too, as much too shy, is negative. Usually when we use too is a negative thing. Okay, guys, I've had students say, "Oh, you live in the Philippines. There's too many beaches there." And I say, "Well, can you really have too many beaches? Can you have too much money?" It doesn't make sense. It can't be a bad thing. But in this case, in these constructions like far too modest, far too sensible, far too honest, it's in a double negative way. It's being used to, in a strange way, it's being used to say something positive. It's like kind of being sarcastic. Oh, you're modest is a good quality. You're too modest. So really I'm saying, oh, you're really, really modest. Far too sensible. Far too honest. He would never steal anything. He's far too honest. So I'm not
I have a
criticizing.
question.
Sure.
If you say, for example, far too aggressive is positive?
No, that would be negative. Right, good point. Right, that would be negative. So thank you so much for bringing that up. I almost overlooked the obvious there. No, far too and a positive would be positive. Far too or much too. Far too or much too with a positive is positive. Far too or much too with a negative is negative. Very good. Thank you. You're absolutely right. Okay. All right, we're not going to have time for all these, but let's get the idea of how it would look in a conversation, how this is used. Let's try this out. Mustafa, number one here.
Okay, I think Mark took some money from my bag while we were out. No, he's blank to do a thing like that. So is it positive or negative? So it can be easy for me.
Well, it's
far too. It might be far too honest or much too loyal.
He's far too honest because he didn't steal. You're
okay.
Denying. He stole money? No, he didn't. He's far too honest. So the idea we're much too honest. Okay. All right.
Much too honest would be okay. I don't know.
Would be the same thing. Far too honest, much too honest. You can interchange them. Whatever sounds better to you. Much too shy, far too shy. Either way. So okay, look at how this is used. He's far too honest to do a thing like that. So you're trying to, you're trying to explain why of something. You're trying to explain the why. Okay, I got to go, but I just want to give you one more quick example. I'm still waiting for Lisa to say sorry for sending that fax to the wrong address, and the reply, you wait a long time. Lisa's to admit anything's her fault. Lisa's much too proud. So negative. Why is she not going to apologize? She's much too proud to do that. She's far too honest to steal. She's much too loyal to quit the company without notice. She's far too modest to take the award, far too sensible to jump off the bridge. Okay, you're explaining the why of something. That's it. I'm out of time. In fact, I'm over time again. Thank you very much for coming to the class. I hope you learned a thing or two. See you guys